Let's spend some time walking through the main plant page of the Blue Vantage display. A lot has changed over the evolution of Blue Vantage, really based on customer feedback from you guys in the field. Just want to kind of walk through the layout, information that it provides, and kind of some of the unique features of Blue Vantage as a whole. Of course, we start at the very top of our screen that has our bar graph, and of course, every row provides detailed information. Our map is all row by row detailed information as well. And of course, we're running through a demo mode to kind of simulate us going through the field. As we work our way across, we have, in this case, our singulation map is up, showing us singulation information. We have a singulation bar graph, average singulation, skips and doubles across the whole planter, and then of course row by row detailed mapping on the tablet itself. Of course, the map that you see, we have the ability, like a tablet, to have one finger to move the map around, and then we have the ability to, of course, pinch and zoom into our data as well. The unique part kind of about our Blue Vantage display being a tablet is you can really zoom in to about the 5-inch level into and look at our detailed map information. So we can zoom in very tight onto the planter, and if I press my center icon over here, it zooms in on the planter itself, and you of course can see it row by row mapping as you're driving through the field. If I zoom back out, since that's a little tight to see, we kind of go back out, and you can see our center icon has now gone, has now come back. If I press center, it now becomes field zoom. If I press field zoom, it zooms that whole field all the way out to the top. We kind of work our way down the right-hand side of the screen. And at the very top, where of course we have singulation now, if we want to view another map layer, that's where our map layer selector lives. So if we tap anywhere in this box, it brings up our different layers that we can see. Our tablet is in a training mode scenario now, so it's simulating planting, and of course it simulates a fully equipped planter. So if you don't have fertilizer, or if you don't have insecticide, of course those map selection options are just not on the list. We can see we have our selectors that are specific to the crop, so our percent to target, our actual applied population, the singulation map, which of course is highlighted here, and our hybrid selection as well. We then get into downforce, so we can see our ground contact map, applied force map, and our sensed force map. And then if we have fertilizer, we have percent to target, actual applied fertilizer, and then our insecticide layer as well. If we want to look at how our true depth hydraulic downforce is performing with ground contact percentage, we press on ground contact, and we now switch to a ground contact map. If I want to go back to singulation, I press on my top selector. I'm going to go back to singulation, and it takes us to our singulation map. If we press on that again, all of these pencil icons on the right-hand side of the screen allows you to edit whatever that pencil icon is next to. So for example, at the very top spot where we're under our population, we can come in and select this pencil icon to change our population. So if we want to increase our population, for example, we hit our check, we go back, and our population is changed. So map selector and the edit button is, of course, the pencil icons next to those map selectors. So if I want to change my downforce information, I can do it from this location, as well as another location we'll talk about here in a second. If I don't want to change anything, I can just tap on the map once, and of course it deselects it out. Once we get below our map selector, we basically have 4 buckets to look into. And one of the newer changes we've implemented into Blue Vantage is what we call the widget selector. Okay? And we can come in here and change which box is bigger, which box is smaller, as well as what information is inside each one of those boxes. These are all active windows over here. So this is a row detail box. So in this case, we are scanning. You can see the scan is highlighted. We're looking at row 5. It's telling us all the detail information on row 5, and then of course it slowly rolls into row 6, 7, etc. across the board. If you tap on any box up here, or press your right and left arrows and press hold, it will just solely focus on that single row. Maybe one row is kind of acting up. You wanted to focus, in my case, on row 12 only, it will just stay on row 12 until you either go back to scan or manually select a new row. You can see the hold and scan function under that window. If we go down one selector, in this case I have a products tab where we have my population, my fertilizer rate, and my insecticide rate. These are all active boxes over here. So if we tap on, example, our products box, we can get into fertilizer and change our fertilizer rate, maybe shut fertilizer off because we're done with fertilizer or we ran out. If we press on the corn one, we can change hybrids from this location. And of course, if we press on insecticide, we can do the same thing. So we talked about being able to select the different layers, press the pencil next to that layer to edit. You can do it even quicker from these quick taps down here. We go one more down, we have our bulk fill, pressure, vacuum pressure, and our ground contact. Again, all active boxes. If we tap on this box, it takes us to the fans tab so we can increase our vacuum. Also, our downforce levels live here in the fans tab as well. So let's say we wanted to increase our sensed force. We could increase that value, hit our checkbox, and those values are changed. The last one down in this case is our markers. So everything's run through the Blue Vantage display. If I wanted my right marker out, I press right, operate my remote, my right marker goes out. I then can of course go into auto mode, and every time we raise the planner, the marker will switch automatically every time you raise. You'll notice of course that our detail box is very big. These are a little smaller. If I was using markers a lot, for example, and I needed to hit those buttons more easily, if I press on my pencil icon here, it extends out from the side, and then you can really see similar to what you see on your computer when you're maximizing your window size. I want to make markers larger so they're easier to hit. I'm going to simply tap on my up and down arrows here, and you can now see that we have shrunk the row detail box at the top. We now make markers much larger, much easier to hit and engage. If I'm going to leave those up for a while, I can hit my tab here, shrink that down, and now I can have my markers. I get in the center of the field, maybe I'm not using markers, or maybe I'm not using markers at all anymore. I can come here to my pencil to expand it, and you know what? I want to really focus on my vacuum levels, okay? I can then hit my extender for vacuum, and now it's easier to see your vacuum levels and your ground contact percentage. So a lot of flexibility on what you can see and what you want to see, or maybe what's important to you, and have the ability to expand and minimize those windows as you're going through the field by those expander buttons. You'll notice, of course, next to our pencil icon, there's a gear right next to it. Based on what you see important, you can pick and choose what information is viewed on this right-hand window. Under this gear icon, we then can come in and see everything that's selected and all the options we have. So you can pick 4 total that you can view. So in this case, we're on row detail, product summary, pressures, and markers. Let's say we're not using markers. All right, markers are not important to us, or we use them very sparingly. So you know what? I'm going to change, and I'm going to deselect markers. But you know what? I change populations a lot, or I want to see the different color ranges for my prescription map. If I go to preset populations, that is now number 4. I hit my checkbox. You see now down here in the lower part is our preset populations. Let's say I'm manually changing populations a lot. I can hit the expander. They're now very easy to hit. I shrink my window down, and now I can quickly change population right from that run screen without going through any other steps. And of course, a quick edit button to edit those as well. So make it a lot easier to change population on the go. If you're running prescription maps, instead of having the preset population here, it would tell you your legend for your prescription map. So what color is what rate on your main plant screen. So a lot of flexibility over here. You can pick and choose how large the box is and what information lives on this right-hand page. If we keep working our way down around to the lower left-hand corner of the tablet, our toolbar icon down here just indicates is the planner up or down. Of course, this is our legend box up here that tells you what colors mean what on the legend. So we talked in another video, if we're under our actual population, this is where you can change the legend as well. If you notice that now there's a little pencil icon next to the corn piece, you can tap on this and actually change the legend as well to, again, fit your needs or fit what you want to see and the rate ranges you are using. If we go right above that, it of course reads out our acres and our mile per hour. If we tap on that box, this is also where our bulk fill scale information lives. So you can see how much weight is in each tank. We weigh each tank individually. It will also tell you your acres to empty. And if you're utilizing a boundary in the Blue Vantage display, we will tell you how many acres are left to plant. So if it's a 60-acre field and you got 30 of it done, you obviously know you have 30 acres left. We'll help count that down so it's an easy reference for you. And of course, we also show productivity, how many acres you're covering an hour as well. Once you tap that guy out, it shrinks it, of course, out of the way. You have a GPS icon, just again, general status of GPS, and we talked about that center and field zoom button here at the beginning. If we kind of work our way into the center, you can see two tabs. The shutoffs tab at the top will always be there no matter your configuration, and this is to manually shut off sections while going through the field. Of course, all Blue Vantage equipped planters are all row by row section shutoff. This would be a use case where you have a waterway that didn't get mapped, or you're wanting to shut off rows for whatever reason. You can manually shut off rows independent of GPS, and of course we can tap them back on. The smallest sections we give you is 4. You can, and there's ability to customize it and just have one big section if you want, so have like a master off, or you want to have 2 buttons because it's not easy to punch all 4. You can manually and set those to whatever you so choose, whatever makes it easy for you. Then of course we have auto section control, the on-off button. Of course that's going to turn off the GPS control of sections as well. We tap that, again, it shrinks it up out of the way. If you have Yetter Air Adjust row cleaners on your machine, you will of course have the row cleaners tab. You then of course will have the light, medium, and heavy settings, so the defaults that come with the display, or you have this pencil icon that will take you to the spot where you can manually adjust and set those different parameters. So you want to adjust the center rows different than the wing rows. You can save them, you can name them, all those type of things under that tab as well. We go back to plant where we were today. Again, row cleaners is still active. We tap row cleaners once, we shrink it out of the way. And we're back to our main plant screen. So kind of a run through of what is going on this main plant screen, what different functions do, kind of some hidden items where bulk fill scales live, how to adjust your legend, if it's adjustable legends, how to maximize and change your window size, how to select what's in that right-hand window. The other thing I wanted to touch on for those that are running pneumatic down pressure for closing wheels, we were in our row cleaners tab. There's a couple ways to get there. If you're in row cleaners, you can see closing wheels in the upper left corner. If you're on the plant screen and want to get right to that closing wheel piece, you can press actions. You can see closing wheels is the 3rd one down, and this is where you would adjust your air adjust closing wheels as well. So there's 3 presets. You can make them wherever you so choose, and of course you can set the center section versus the wing section at a different pressure, different downforce. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of information in Blue Vantage, and some customization so you can modify and change this display to meet your needs and what's important to you.